Hey everyone, and welcome to F4 Obsessed, an OST bonus analysis. On our weekly show, we discuss F4 Thailand from a symbolic and meta perspective. And in this show, we are offering a mini analysis on each music video. This week, we're diving into One Last Cry. I'm Ty, your host, of course, and my co-host is Marie Claire, who I call MC. Say hi, MC.
Hi, MC. Hello, everyone. Thanks for checking this out as our bonus analysis.
Yeah. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, check the notification bell, interact with the video however you can, comment below to tell us at any time what your thoughts were. And make sure you also check out our weekly show where we discuss each episode in depth, as well as our mid-season symbolism summary, where we cover all of the symbols and metaphors and themes we have seen so far in the show. At this point, we're covering this video after episode 12. So we have not yet seen episode 13. So just a note that we're going off of the things that we have seen so far through episode 12 to help us break down One Last Cry.
Yes. And because we haven't seen episode 13, we haven't seen a kiss yet, officially.
We have not seen a kiss yet.
And I asked Ty before we started recording if that was affecting our lens of both of this music video. And I still have a question about that in my mind.
Yeah.
But in general, you know, these stories are part of the storytelling. And so just like how Who Am I is a reflection of the entire story, one would hope that there was more in here than just a momentary point in Goya's journey.
Right. Yeah. So I think our analysis might be different at the end of the series than where we're at right now, or even at when this music video came out, which was, you know, when she rejected him and pushed him away and all of that. So yeah, we heard it a little bit earlier. Yes, well, he'd been using the
theme, but officially hearing, like, when I'm saying it starts in the show is when we actually hear like the full song, like where we hear the singer sing.
Right.
But the music video came out like after episode 7. So it's pretty early, but 7 was also when they were going through their kind of larger emotional things to do with Ren, and we heard some of the themes in there, which was really interesting.
Yeah.
But again, when we watched it the first time, we got some of the base symbolism, obviously, because we had been paying attention to it, and we were like, wow, this one's deeply symbolic. But I'm happy we waited, because I think we picked up more by waiting.
Yeah, I think so, because when this first came out, it felt just like a crying song.
Yeah.
And now it feels like, oh, there's something else going on underneath the surface that's waiting to burst through.
I underlined eruption.
Erupt. Exactly. And we both of us like came into this today with the same very similar takeaways. So
I messaged you right before and I'm like, why is this so horny?
And you know what's even like more ironic about this takeaway is that in our circles, at least on Twitter, everyone is so frustrated, dare I say sexually frustrated, with the show right now, even though like we're not frustrated with what they're doing, but we're feeling what they're doing. And what they're doing is they're building all this sexual tension.
Yes.
And there are a lot of us
like that's so important that the audience is feeling that, because then when they actually do kiss or experience like that intimacy, it will be cathartic release.
Yes. Yeah, because we have to get to this meaning, like this bigger meaning, this bigger point for that particular part in their relationship and their journey together, their individual journeys, like all of that has to click at the same time for the intimacy to happen. But it's also funny to me that the fandom is experiencing
Yeah.
this
What we're experiencing in this video. Like
all at the same time. So it's very interesting. But yeah, so all right, so let's dive into the lyrics. God, I like think of most of my notes are like just the lyrics. Like I literally was like watching the video and I'm just like, I'm just gonna type what she said because there's so much meaning behind this.
Yes. I mean, on surface, it's a silent plea to the universe and probably Tom.
Yeah. Well, because like he's the bright star in her universe, right? So he's the and that, oh God, it's so interesting because they're each other's bright stars.
Yeah.
That they revolve around. So whenever she is like asking the universe to give her something, like she's also
asking Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go through this because I mean, yeah, we know like Goya has like a hard time and she's got lots of trials that she has to go through, obstacles, life is never easy. I just have to wait. That was kind of like one of the first things that I kind of wrote down because we've talked a lot about waiting. We talked a lot about how this, you know, sometimes you have to wait and that's like a good part of your journey, and sometimes you have to wait and that's like a bad part of your journey. That's a part where, especially as a woman, you are, you know, waiting for your man to come home, waiting for your man to appear, and that's not a good place to be for some, you know, at some point in your journey, because at some point you do need to act, right? But this song is not about that.
Yeah, and I really got you know, a lot of the feeling of the moving goal posts from this. Like it's like every time she's like, I'm gonna get used to this and I just need a moment to like process this. Like I need to think about it and feel what I'm feeling.
Right.
The like tests move on.
Yeah, the rules change.
Yeah. But wait. And like that feeling of exhaustedness and drained, like we get textually in the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So and when the full play of this song first appears, we get that. So
yeah,
it's entirely purposeful that it is in that theme. And then she's like, I won't ask for a long time. I know I'll be all right. But like,
I just need a moment.
I just need a moment.
This really gets to me because like, you know, we talk about how Goya is unable to process her feelings and unable to be honest with herself. And the reason why she's unable to do that is because she doesn't have enough time to sit with and think about the change that she has undergone. And even though she has changed, she has adapted to the obstacles, she has kind of gone through those tests and those trials, and she comes out winning every time. She doesn't have any time to sit with that and think about who she is now beyond that test or that trial or that obstacle. She doesn't have enough time to process what she got from overcoming those things. And
like in episode 12, we got her being given that gift by an elder woman to be like, you can just sit here and like not think, but know that you're processing.
Exactly.
Which is so good. It's so good.
Yeah. We've talked about before how there are people in Goya's life who act as obstacles to that. So like Lita is one of these people.
Gawain.
Yeah, Gawain. Hale is the
Hale,
worst
yeah.
one. He's the one who tells her what to do and how to act, but he doesn't allow her to think for a moment by herself and feel.
And sometimes Tom too, like
sometimes Tom, yeah,
when he's feeling like he wants to rush ahead and she's like not there yet. And there's a lot of that happening right now in the story where we're at in their relationship, because she hasn't gone as far as she needs to go yet.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You know, like that's the surface of what we're seeing. But when the lyrics are paired with the video, it's different.
It's yeah. It has a
it's
different impact.
Both.
Yeah.
It's both. But there is more to this because of the music video. And that's like, did they make this show like in a lab for Ty and I? I questioned the world.
Yeah, basically.
like this show just like, hey Ty, hey MC, we know you love this stuff and you're gonna really love this.
You're gonna really, really adore this one. Yeah, pretty much.
Just feels weird. Like we're just like here and
yeah,
the show happens.
You know,
just like
yeah, it's really weird because MC and I have talked a lot on regarding other pieces of media about how important it is to give into one's feelings and to just allow them to overtake you and just have those moments to yourself. I mean, those are moments of like self-care, those are moments of introspection, you know, diving deep into one's psyche and taking the time to just like figure out what's going on. And having that represented in media is so unique and so special. And when it's done with this emphasis on feeling and emphasis on you know, allowing yourself to just get to that point without beating yourself up about it is,
and no shame involved with feeling weak.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to mention that too. The weakness factor is really interesting here because I mean, at least in Western media, like weakness is bad and we shouldn't feel weak. Feeling weak is bad, right?
Yep.
But what it actually means is allowing yourself to be maybe dependent, or maybe allowing yourself to lean on somebody, allowing yourself to feel like I can't do everything that society is making me do.
I have a weird metaphor. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So if you work out every single day, you will not get as much gains as if you have rest days.
Yeah, that's true.
You cannot be strong for all the time. You cannot be fighting all the time. You cannot be constantly working on yourself. You literally need time to rest and grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And during those moments, you are weaker. Your muscles hurt. The experiences that you've gone through have hurt you. And you need time to recuperate.
Yeah, you gotta rest. You gotta allow your body to heal itself.
Goya's like, I need a rest day. It's been too much legs and arms.
Cute. And she's like, only for one day, only for a day. Just allow me to be weak.
Oh, we're totally gonna hear this when she's on the train to our parents' house. She's gonna be crying her eyes out, and we're gonna be hearing this the whole way. And it's gonna be so hard, and it's gonna be a punch in the heart.
Yeah. You know, I wonder, was One Last Cry, I do wonder what the Thai literal translation would be. I know they say it in English, but like for some reason, I don't know if I like the whole like it's my one last cry line, and I want to find a different meaning for it because it drives me crazy, because the rest of the lyrics don't mean that. Like, it's not saying it's my one last cry. It's saying that like please just give me a moment to cry.
Yeah.
Or to feel or to be. But I get it. I think it's very poetic.
I think it has to do with the fact that even though we keep on saying this will be the last time we're going to cry, there's always another time. And that
exactly
is the subtle meaning to that.
Yeah, it's
she
like
keeps
reading
on
between
saying,
the lines.
yeah, reading between, there's always going to be another time. And you're always going to say, like, I just need a moment to cry, or I'll stop crying soon, which is kind of what they're saying. Yeah. But we say ridiculous stuff all the time to ourselves, like, I'm never going to cry again. Well, it's not
realistic. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Right. So she is in a way being unrealistic with herself and with those around her, instead of admitting that it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
And that this is a part of life, and that's more healthy. So in a way, this song is not entirely as healthy as we want it to be, even though it is framed that way.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's like a darkness there.
She's not accepting it as, it's okay to cry. It's that when she says it's my one last cry, she is feeling guilt about holding everybody back so she can process.
Yes. And we know that Goya feels that way. She doesn't allow herself to do that, because if she does, then she thinks she is hurting other people by doing that. She thinks
or inconveniencing others, or taking things from others, like time that they don't have, or disrupting them. And she is so self-sacrificial.
Yeah, definitely.
That, like, it's unrealistic of her to keep on keeping on. But she does. And then, like, part of this is that she needs to realize that to fully grow, the rain comes before the sun.
Yeah. Yep. And that's where we get, because then that last little line there before she repeats is that the darkest sky will soon go away. Good and bad things will both come my way. Soon there'll be light. So it's like she knows that there's something on the horizon, but we talked about this with our like episode 12 breakdown. She doesn't know what it is. Like there's I can't see it, but I know that it's coming. Like I know that it's going to be better. And that's all I can hope for. It's just pure blind hope.
Yeah. Let's get into the episode, Ty.
I mean, into the
video.
Music video.
Sorry.
Into the music video.
Into the music video. Okay, when I saw this music video, I freaked out.
Yeah. When I saw the dirt
and the two doorways that are open.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so this is a barren apartment. Just nothing but the stuff that she needs to grow between two thresholds.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's also night. It's also nighttime.
Nighttime, it's dark.
Yeah. Things don't grow in the sun.
This is like
there's
the equivalent.
Yeah.
The equivalent on like the hero's journey would be the belly of the whale.
Yeah, in the deep dark.
In the dark.
Yeah, because
you are lost. You have to figure out how to find strength and hope in the darkness.
Right. And typically you come in one way and you leave out a different way.
Because of the doors.
Different doors. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that like light, there's a warm light seeping in through both of those doors. And yeah, there was obviously a way she came in, and there's going to be a way she leaves. And like, yeah, that's very hero's journey, very heroine's journey type of stuff. And there's also this idea of like barrenness.
Yep.
And there's it's funny, I actually have in my notes room, bed, white. But then I also know like what happens at the end, which is like it blooms to red flowers. So then I wrote the sexual tension is killing me.
Yeah, she's literally dressed like a bride.
Yeah.
On a white bed.
Yeah.
So she's like in hibernation, but like waiting to be wet,
waiting to bloom, waiting
like
to turn. Yeah.
Like there's the flower metaphors or the bulb metaphors that she's like under the earth.
Yeah.
You know, that she's just like waiting to erupt.
Yeah, exactly.
To become who she is.
There's tiny little like on her skirt, there's like little embroidery. Flowers. Yeah, some flower and embroidery. It's
lace, which is like associated with the readiness to become womanly.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's this like a little bit of intimate seduction going on, and like lingerie almost.
It's like the cusp of womanhood.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're in between this like innocence, but yet then she's starting to wear the stuff of adulthood. Again, between two thresholds. This is an analogy for ready to become a full woman.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so Goya.
Yep. That's who we're talking about.
I know. But I'm really like, I'm loving this because I almost want to look at the entire series as I want to look through this lens now for the whole series so far. Go back to that scene that they have here, if you're looking at the visuals, where she plucks the F4
red card
from her locker as if it were a flower petal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all been there from the very beginning. And the flower
we're gonna catch stuff at the end that will be like this show. Like, I kind of want to do after the last episode, I want to do like a rewatch with friends, you know, and rewatch the whole thing. Very quickly, because I think it'll be very, very clear. There is so much sexual symbolism of cusping adulthood and wanting to be in bloom.
Yes.
Has the red peony bloomed for you? Yeah. Sorry. Turning red. Go watch it. It's great.
Yeah, it is. I watched it. It's so
I know. But yeah, it's all there.
Yeah.
What is this show?
It's about growing into an adult, as into puberty, into messiness, into
sexuality.
And these masculine and feminine parts of ourselves that we have, and like learning how to deal with that, and learning how to be older and grasping that and taking ownership of it. It's so interesting.
There is something that happens with Violet Water, who's the singer, right? When she turns her face, it cuts very seamlessly to a moment of Goya turning her face. When she raises her hand, Goya plucks the red card.
Yeah.
It's very well edited to show that this is Goya's internal monologue.
Absolutely.
And inside of her subconscious.
Absolutely. Yeah. So all of that, those sexual metaphors and all of that, that's all going on inside of Goya. Like that's this is like, Goya.
This is Goya's like psyche.
Yeah. It's her. Yeah, exactly. It's her inner self. It's her. Yeah. It's her true self, right? It's her. Her psyche. Ooh, okay.
who is weirdly horny.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's get there.
she's almost ready. Uh,
And so are we.
exactly. Please and thank you.
All right.
She does say, yeah, so
Okay.
things. Oh,
Windows.
yeah, here we go. Windows. All
All right.
right.
Let's talk about windows. She is Wendy of Peter Pan-esque, exploring an open window.
Right. Which there's a huge sexual metaphor there, and like puberty, and
it's inherent to wanting to escape childhood and become a woman.
Yeah.
It is a veiled window which points to the sky, which is her husband's kingdom, symbolically, her future husband's kingdom. This portal to the sky, like similar with Rapunzel, right? There's a balcony too.
Yes.
You think about Romeo and Juliet, you think about Rapunzel, you think about Wendy and Peter Pan, and yes, Wendy and Peter Pan is a sexual metaphor. This is the thing.
And even more than that, like Hook, like who Hook was, right?
Because who Hook was in
they
it,
show Ren as well as Tom in the in the clips from the show. It shows that it's not just Tom that's taking her out of innocence. It's also Ren, because Ren was the first one that she really clung to. And Ren is more of her Peter Pan figure, whereas Tom is more of her
Hook,
sexual awakening Hook character, which I don't know if like you guys know about that, but
the bad guy
who
she's like, oh, you're doing things to me.
Yeah. Like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just DM me on Twitter and I'll fill you in, because that is very important in the Peter Pan story. But yeah, continue.
But like, okay, so the window shows her this is the place that you're going to end up going, and you cannot see beyond it. It's to what we were just talking about. Right? She can't see what is out there, but she knows that that's going to be where she ends up.
Right. It's dark. Eventually. It's blurry. Yeah. She knows that she needs to go there, but she can't see ahead of her. So it's scary. And
so she holds herself back even in the video.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
We get these like very touching moments with Tom, but we also get frustrating moments with Tom because it's about like, you know, this inherent like back and forth that she's in as she paces her room, which is also associated with sexual frustration.
Yeah, definitely.
Just as a side note, before we get into the plants erupting out of the soil, all plants need 7 things to grow. 7.
That's a lot, in the very symbolic number.
Yes. The room to grow, the right temperature, light, water, air, nutrients, time.
There's also like 7 steps of alchemy, and that connects to like the whole, you know, every like humans are not very unique in the way that they think about the steps to
3s feel nice.
3s, 7s, 10.
Odd numbers, 5s. Odd numbers. Oh, another fun thing about plants, especially tulips, it's really best if you plant them in odd numbers, like 7.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, the number of like flower petals tend to be odd numbers. The pretty much like any kind of journey breakdown that you do, not necessarily odd numbers, but you will find a similar pattern of essentially like a breakdown of matter and then in like a reassembly of that matter. And that can be arranged in many different ways. So like alchemical breakdown and like kind of reassembly of it. That's the same thing as the hero's journey. It's the same thing as the heroine's journey. It's the same thing as the wild woman's journey. Like we talked about all these before, but yeah, they're all related. Related.
why did I bring up plants? It's because she almost talks about all of these 7 things throughout the music video. Like crying is water, right?
Right.
Air, space, you know,
Mm,
time. She asks for time a lot. Like
yeah.
it's like they doubled down on the plant metaphors a lot.
Yeah. I
Um
need all of these things to grow.
yeah.
Give me all of this and I will grow. Just give me some
Yes.
time. Give me some water. Allow me to cry. Like, oh, so good.
Exactly.
All right.
And when sprouts start to sprout, they're at their weakest.
Oh.
And they're most fragile then,
Mm,
because they've used all their energy to erupt out of the soil.
right. Right.
Yeah, but then we get this, like, she starts to scream her ballad, and we get this eruption of
Yes.
us, a little sprout and a
Yeah.
flower.
Yeah, we get the sprout, we get the flower, and we get the tears that are dripping into the soil to show us that like these things are growing from the
Mm-hmm.
tears. And that's obviously the biggest metaphor of the song, which
Yep.
is that tears make things grow.
Yep.
Like tears make you stronger. Good things will come out of them. You'll be a better person on the other end of your cry, essentially. So, oh,
Exactly.
that's so great.
And she was able to grow from Goya was able to grow from the tears and from the bad experiences. That
Yeah.
it goes back and forth between tears, like,
Mm,
you know, Tom, like, being beaten up by the school and Tom rescuing her, Lita hugging her, like, it goes back and
mm,
forth, and like her crying, Violet crying,
mm.
and then the growth continuing. It goes back and forth between all of those things.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Also, just want to like kind of randomly point out that I am fascinated with the fact that they only did maybe 3 of these things, like the growth things, because I
Mm-hmm.
think they had a challenging filming setup. I think that they put the whatever plants they had put it through and they poked it through the bottom and then they pulled it down through the bottom
To
and
pull
then
it down.
they reversed it in
Hmm.
the shot to make it look like it was coming back up. And I'm fascinated by that because I just really want to see them do it. Like, anyways, it's just like a weird thing. But yeah, it's cool that they like went to that. It's cool that they went to that much effort to show things actually
Mm-hmm.
growing in the little room that she's in, because that particular process is so important to the symbology. So it's
We
just
also
really
got
cool.
a quick shot of Tom crying in that one moment too, so his tears are helping her grow too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Exactly.
Yeah.
That point. That's that
And
moment.
then she's sitting on her bed,
Mm-hmm.
and and we did see that eventually some stuff grows from the grass, and
Right.
now she's like surrounded by sort of like this diverse garden, because there's a lot of different stuff
Yeah.
happening.
Yep. Yep. There's a lot of different plants going on
Yeah.
around her.
So again, it's not just one type of thing that's growing, it's an entire
Mm-hmm.
garden now.
Yeah, because Goya affects everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And Lita was talking about this. Like, you're not just in Tom's heart, you're in everyone's heart. Like,
Yep.
you're affecting this wherever you go. And, this is, it's so interesting that they also did not choose a bunch of different varieties of flowers. They just chose this kind of wild, you know, like wildflower, wild grasses type of landscape around her,
Mm-hmm.
to show how it's not always like perfect and pretty and manicured and like
Mm-hmm.
flowers like that aren't perfect, and that's the point. Like, you're kind
Yeah.
of just, this is the garden that she's cultivating.
Yeah. It's
kind
not
of
going to
wild.
be it's not going to be perfect. It may be kind of wild sometimes, but it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they end the last shot they have of Goya is the
leaning
shot
in to kiss Tom, but I didn't get it in the
well, I
GIF.
thought it was I thought the last shot was the
Oh,
one.
the last shot is her smiling from the first episode. Yeah. But
Right.
there is a quick shot of her. We haven't seen it yet. They're both wearing the pink and blue sweaters.
Right. That is in there. That is in
And
there.
she's leaning down to kiss him.
Mm-hmm. No,
They're leaning in
facing each
together.
other.
They're
Yeah, yeah.
facing together, and there's the light behind them, which we know means that they're supposed to kiss.
Right.
It's the backlit kiss. It's classic.
Yeah.
But we don't see the kiss. We just see and the song says promise to keep getting by at that moment. And then we have Goya smiling with it's my one last cry starting, and she wipes a tear. Violet wipes a tear
Yeah.
away.
But that last shot is Goya from Tom's perspective. So
Yeah.
like that's important that she's making a promise to him.
Yeah.
Like
this will be the last time. Yeah.
right. Yeah. And this is the last, like, you will always see me, like I'll always be here kind of thing. Like, you know, I'm gonna be here.
I'll get through this. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we also get the last kind of shot is of her in this room with all these flowers, and of course, because I had to did some
go to the next slide. There's actually I took a freeze frame of the
good
room.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are flowers all over here, all over this room, but they are a specific type of flower. At first I thought maybe they were poppies because they kind of look like poppies.
They kind of look like poppies. Yeah.
But poppies have a black center. They have a pretty dark center to them because that's that poppy seed part. It's all contained in the middle. They don't have as much yellow in the middle. So I kind of hopefully came across the right flower, and that I think they're primroses. Primroses are mostly yellow, but they can also be mostly pink. They're sometimes red, they're sometimes purple. So this seemed to be the closest that I can get to the flowers in the shot. And in terms of like the way that they look, like it was the closest I could find. And primroses are so interesting because first of all, they're like mentioned in a ton of literature, like all over the world. They're not specific to one type of culture. You know, they have different types of primroses that are everywhere, especially in you know, in all types of climates, because they're easy to grow. They're very easy to grow, and they're early to bloom. So they're spring flowers, you know, they're late winter, early spring flowers. So typically in literature, they stand for womanhood because of the fact that they grow so early. And also they're super saturated with their color. So they're very deep. They're very like almost ripe looking. So they typically stand for womanhood. Shakespeare used them a lot to describe young women. Also they're edible, so you can like eat them. They tend to be anti-inflammatory, so I guess, or seemingly anti-inflammatory. Like apparently women would eat them to stave off the effects of, you know, their periods, which is very interesting. And they also were the symbol of Freya in Norse myth, the goddess of love. Literally, because like some flowers have literal meanings. The literal meaning of the primrose is I can't live without you. I feel like that's kind of like one of the more shallower meanings. One of the most interesting things that I stumbled upon in the primrose symbology was that the Celts believed that patches of primroses indicated a door to the fairy realm was nearby. So this is again telling us about doors, telling us about doorways, new beginnings, trials, thresholds. And what is in the shot at this moment?
Yeah.
One door
An
is
open
closed.
door. Yeah.
The door that she supposedly came in.
The closest one, yeah. And then the she just has to look around the corner and then the next door is there.
Yeah, the next door is open. So to me, like there's a lot of threshold symbolism going on in the show, and also like the new beginnings and broken doors, right? Broken doors that won't open, but you have to solve what you need to solve before that door will open again, right? With the stairwell, with the stuff that happened in the show. So yeah, there's a lot of really weird stuff going on with primroses, and I'm like, did they? It could just mean new love. It could just mean young love, right? That's a very surface level read, but I like the door stuff too.
Like just from a mythological perspective, it's springtime, it's light out.
Yeah.
And like this is very Persephone-esque.
Yeah, it is.
Which is, associated with fertility.
Yeah. And again, primroses are associated with like becoming a woman, womanhood, and getting, that first blood and all of that. So it's really odd.
You didn't have to go this hard, show.
Yeah, they really didn't have to do it, but
but we are where we are. Thank you. Again, built in a lab for Ty and I
think so.
Yeah, they were like, who's gonna really appreciate this show?
These two random women in North America.
In North America.
Yeah, that's us.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Patha. Thanks, Parvdi. Thank you.
Thank you for everything. You're the real MVPs.
Totally. So cool. All right. Any other final thoughts on this one?
Nope. I'm looking forward to doing maybe a postmortem of all the stuff that we missed at the end.
Yeah, I agree.
But I feel like we're far enough in Goya's journey to see this represented in her story. Yeah.
I think so.
Especially since we just got the nip slip.
We got a nipple. We're talking about Tom, by the way. I hope people know that we're talking about Tom.
We got femme gaze of him.
Yeah. We got a feminine gaze perspective. Yeah, from Goya's perspective of Tom. Very sexual awakening nonsense, and I love it. It's great.
Like if they had decided to like make her more prudish, like the other versions, but she looks.
Yeah, she does.
So I feel justified in calling this the horniest music video until we get to nighttime next week.
Yes, nighttime. I'm so excited. It's also horny, so stay tuned.
It's weird that these two are back to back.
It is. It's very weird.
Instead of front to front.
Ah! All right. And with that, thanks guys so much for watching this. We'll see you next week on the other horny music video, nighttime. Cheers.
Cheers.